9. So this is what we're doing, right? We're continuing to figure out how do we preserve this lead, but more importantly, if you watched my live stream yesterday, we talked about how do we take all the knowledge that we've accumulated from 3+ years of interviewing some of the top folks on affordable housing, development, etc., and put it towards a database that is now going to create a clone of myself, supplemented with other factual knowledge to go out to the world and answer other people's questions about Section 8, multifamily, ground up development, LIHTC, etc., because that is how you help people at scale, right? That is the whole point. So, what I'm going to do is today, if you remember yesterday, right, when we talked about the whole workflow that we talked about, we realized that we need to create the database first, right? So now we want to figure out, okay, how do we come up with the plan, right? So I spent like probably like a whole hour just taking all my episodes, trying to cluster them into certain categories. Then I said, okay, well, next up is we need to create a RAG, which just stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation Databases that can become the go-to knowledge source for affordable housing. So what we're going to do here is you're going to convert. So I just simply asked for a step-by-step how to turn my podcast into a RAG database. And this is going to be really interesting because I already have everything transcribed. I'll double check on that tomorrow. You need to enrich your data with metadata. Great. Supplement with structured training data. So maybe I can include slide decks. So if I want to supplement it, I mean, I got some great courses that actually I only taken one course in Section 8, and that was by Dr. Joe Azamoah. So I can probably just take all my knowledge and supplement it, what I have here, along with like there's a couple of publications that talk about LIHTC. So I'm happy to put that in there. I'm not a LIHTC person. I don't really love the restrictions on it. I like to think about different ideas for public-private partnerships, which I think is a lot more cool. So we're going to do this. All right, store your data in a vector database. So now it tells you the tools that you can use. I'll probably use Superbase because that was the recommendation I got, which allows me to be a little bit more flexible as we get a little bit bigger, especially if my goal is to go out to the world and answer a bunch of questions. So interesting. Cluster categories, and then what else can I suggest for enrichment? Oh, this is such a great idea. Like, especially if I could put in a lease in here. Oh, that's so good. That's so smart. I should definitely do that. All right. Entitlements, RS means, great. Now, when we build you a custom spreadsheet template, I can generate Google Sheets template, pre-format episode tracker, chunking schema. Yeah, I do want that. Also, want me a visual roadmap. Sure. Yes. Yes, I want all that. So now I updated all this stuff with all these steps. Transcribe my podcast. Interesting. So it kind of tells me exactly what I need to do for my SOP. See, this is perfect. I was asking for an SOP. You assign a metadata each chunk, search intent. Oh, yeah. So I can probably just look it up and say, hey, what's my thing? Search a Google Sheet, supplement external training data, add public PDFs, slide decks. Okay, I know exactly how to build this out. Embed the content using OpenAI. Interesting. Text embedded models, turn text chunks into vectors, store embeddings into thing. Interesting. Upload your vectors in Metabase. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Okay. I mean, I know how to, especially if I want to talk about, hey, how do you find like good tenants, blah, blah, blah. I have great stuff with that. So now what I want to do is, well, guess after I saw the steps for Superbase, please help me build a custom spreadsheet and generate for episode tracker, but we'll say the word. Then afterwards, please provide a visual. Oh, I'll leave it on, of course. I mean, I just want to show people how to do it. So yeah, I do want a visual roadmap. Why not? So let's see what it comes up with. So this is exciting, right? So now I can get my Google Sheets. I can chunk out the data in the way that I want. So episode title, episode number, guest name, air date, easily. So even if you didn't even want to create the thing, this I should have done this. I should have done this way earlier. This is such a better spreadsheet than what I came up with. Add visual guest link bios, geo descriptors. So good. This is such a good one. All right. Well, now that I got that, it's video strategy. That was great. Let me know if you need autopilot and data from past episodes. Yes. Yes. Please auto populate this with the episode by Christy Kando on how to get entitlements for dry utilities and ground up projects as an example. Okay, let's see if this works. Let's see if it works. I wonder if it needs my transcript again. So that's probably something I have to do over. Oh. Yes. All right, let me check the spreadsheet. Then while I was working on that response. Let's see. Air date. Okay. Okay, got the URL that it proposed for me. Entitlements. Interesting. Transcript chunk. Metadata. Oh my god, it even comes under your metadata. Diagram of utility. Interesting. I don't have that. Enrichment ideas. Link to city permitting portal. Glossaries. Oh, that's so good. Wow, I didn't think of that. I don't have schema status. Interesting. This is so interesting. All right. So this is how you do it, right? And again, if you just take your transcripts and make sure, so I already had our team Pia work through this. She went through all my transcripts. She made sure she labeled who talked about what in each transcript, because usually sometimes Adobe Premiere Pro might have that problem. But then now you're just able to feed that in here and just creates it for you because it knows exactly what you want it to do. You're trying to optimize for GEO. You're optimizing to show up as the authority for affordable housing. So that's exactly what I would do. And if you had your own business, what I might recommend is, let's say you have a repository for all these questions about skincare, about plumbing, electrical work, HVAC, who cares? You have very similar questions like, oh, this thing is not doing very well. So what are the steps that you would take in order to diagnose that issue? Well, you would say, hey, in order to diagnose a warm air coming out of an air conditioner when turned on, this is the first thing you would do. Check the air filter. Check to make sure that your temperature sensors are correct. Blah, 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 blah. And that's how you go through and create and do a download of all your time. Because I imagine you must get the same questions from people all the time, right? People ask me, how do you structure things? Who do you use for your property manager? Who do you use for your contractor? This is all available. So that's what I would do. That's what I would recommend. All right. And you can make this applicable to any business. So hopefully this was helpful, everybody. You're seeing me build this out, right? You don't have, it's not like a massive project. You just got to spend about like 18 minutes a day. Oh, let's check out this one. Oh, yeah, this is perfect. So this is all you're doing, right? The goal here is just to remind everybody, the goal here is to show up and have your podcast show up as what is the best podcast in affordable housing investment? And our podcast comes up right now. So after that, our goal is like, okay, well, How do you preserve that lead? And if you don't have that lead, what do you do to get into the lead of whether or not you want to be the best plumbing business in Orange County, as an example, right? So instead of, I mean, if that was your business, you wouldn't transcribe a podcast, you would transcribe simply your phone calls with clients, right? That's one way you can do it. Transcribe it, build out the database. And then what we're doing right now is showing you how to vectorize and annotate all that data. So now you chunk it out, you store it in Superbase, and now you create the agents that we talked about yesterday. The agents are going to refer to this database that we spent our time building out. And using that database, it's going to help inform that agent, hey, based off of your knowledge here, please come up with tutorials with answers and propose answers so that if you see a question out on Reddit that's talk about affordable housing and someone needs an answer, well, I'm gonna base off of my knowledge in Superbase and enrich data if I had any, I'm going to propose a answer, and that's going to come to me as a human in the loop to review that answer. And if I agree with that answer, right, with the same tonality, same information as factual, just to make sure that nothing's wrong, now you can go and be the authority and be honestly just helpful. That's the whole goal of this, right? My goal was always to build this information so that we can create more affordable housing. And in order to create more affordable housing, I realized that there needs to be more clones of myself, not just the podcast, but I need to be able to go out, create a clone of myself that can supply that knowledge that we talked about. Because you can't just expect everyone to just come to you. What better way than to go out there, just see what questions people are asking about affordable housing and ground up development and just answering it. That's all we're doing. All right. So I hope you all have an amazing Wednesday. Today we hit 4,000 subs. I'm so grateful for all of you tuning in, and thank you so much for subscribing. I mean, when we started this podcast, we had like 17 views the first month, and I'm just so sure that was just honestly my parents supporting me, and they don't really speak English, so I appreciate you all so much. Without folks like you, I would have never had the home I grew up in. So I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Thank you for exploring these different skills, because guess what? When the computer was invented, you had to learn to use a computer. With AI, I'm still an affordable housing guy. The skill, right? It's kind of like, hey, saying you're a computer guy, that doesn't make sense anymore, right? You're just saying you specialize in affordable housing. But with AI, you have like AI is going to be table stakes. You have to learn how to use it. I used to work with it in corporate America, and I just seen how fast it goes. So don't be left behind. Learn the stuff. This could be applicable to you. And just think about how awesome would it be if you got a clone of yourself that was out there doing work for you, and you are literally just doubling your output. That will give you so much more time back. All right. I hope you all have an amazing Wednesday. I'll see y'all tomorrow for day 650, I think. Have a good one tomorrow.